about an hour late, but it does look like finally we're going to get that update from U.S. President Donald Trump around 2 p.m. when it looks like we're starting. Again, we're supposed to start at 1 p.m. The stream is open. People just standing around a podium as of a couple of minutes ago. But I do want to mention as well, this announcement from President Trump reportedly going to involve some medical companies, including the likes of MRK, GSK, and SNY. I was also seeing some reports suggesting ABBV would be involved. Apparently 7 companies making drug pricing deals with the Trump administration. Stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted as much as I can, especially when I get back to this desk at 2:30. Back over here to Neil and Obi after their lunch break.
Welcome back, everybody. I fully expect there's a non-zero possibility that the VWAP hold on DJT might either work or fail based on whatever the heck gets said. Here, probably literally nothing to do with any comments that might get made. But let's be real. We talk about like just trading like a plan or whatever it might be. If an in-play stock holds VWAP throughout lunchtime, like I like the volume weighted average price. So I end up going long before I go short in DJT, which is fine. I'm actually gonna. It's silly not to take something out on this pop going into this. So you know what? I'm just gonna hold some for the dream, reload it on VWAP if we get it. Welcome back, everybody. Should be a fun one this afternoon. I am curious about this. Logged into the current stream. See some oh boy, Sergio saying oh boy, let's go team.
Oh boy.
The poll, why is there a poll? Okay, why is there a poll, do you still pay cable? I already voted, we don't pay for cable anymore, we cut the cord, but I'm sure there's a reason why we're going with this, but. Okay, so there was this discussion about Netflix and legacy. Only 21% still, I'm assuming you don't.
Absolutely not.
You're too young, people don't.
Not.
Like we held on
Makes zero
till,
sense.
I think it was the beginning of last year, I think we cut our cable, like 2024 or something like that. So we held on a really long time, in my opinion, but I kind of feel like people are going to get rid of it at this point.
My family cut it about 15 years ago,
There's so many streaming options. There's so much quality out there. Get that mess out of here. Why? And now you just got to pay so much for streaming anyways.
Yeah, and then think about it. It's pretty much like how cable used to cost like what, like $50, $60, $70 maybe a month. Now you have Netflix, you have Amazon, you got, well, Prime, I was going to say Prime, Disney Plus,
Apple
Paramount,
TV.
Apple TV.
Can't win, man.
I just have one thing to say. I got to dust off that old pirate hat. That's all I'm going to say.
Terrible.
But I got Netflix. Netflix, a lot of YouTube, I guess.
YouTube
but yeah,
Premium is legit. I'm paying for that now.
anything that you want can be found.
Yes, anything that you want can be. How is that still on the board? Come on, man. I was spamming so many symbols and it's still there. What is going on here?
Well, at least Neil and Obi are
put in some more work.
No longer acceptable, tickers.
I'm just gonna keep going a bunch of CoreWeaves in there. It's not working. Why is it not? I want to see them dropping down. You know what? I should fresh start this. That's what I should do. You know what? So now, well, we'll see if this is probably going to backfire on me, but I'm going to give this a fresh start. So fresh start, refresh. If I do that, does it restart? Because I want to know. I wanted to do fresh start. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Now we go. I'm going to say CoreWeave. Dollar sign, CR. Whoops, I didn't do dollar sign. CRWV. That's what should be in there. We should, at some point, we should. Oh, it's not. Oh, you know what? Fabian, is it not resetting? This is the ultimate troll. I can't even properly reset it. We're going to have to live with mask all day long. The stock is completely nonsense. Anyways, so moving on.
It's still only done 820K.
Let's just ignore the most ridiculously useless stock of all time that made the list today. And look, what's going on here? It's still like it's working, but we still have to deal with the stuff from this morning. CoreWeave.
Mask is still slowly rising. Look at that.
CoreWeave's up 23%, everybody. Tesla's been moving all day long. Mask has probably done nothing for anybody ever, except for
maybe a couple days ago.
Maybe he did something
a couple days ago. I think it was.
Should be more interested in CoreWeave. 23%, everybody. Oh, mine will work. Well,
wow, look at that. Core weaving to the upside.
This is ridiculous, CoreWeave.
My God, look at this.
That's right. Oh, it's a big
there's
time short
there's a
squeeze.
buyer. There's a buyer.
Well, there's
I don't know if it's
legitimate
an immediate squeeze, but yeah, definitely there's a buyer.
Short covering for sure.
Yeah.
For sure there's short.
I'm sure people are covering along the way, yes.
No questions asked.
Here we go.
Yeah, well.
Look at that. See, I mean, here's the thing. Also technical breaks, strong move off of the open. I mean, like you could also argue this is just a little bit of a balance going on here as well. Maybe people are, look at the aggressive selling. This is pretty much relatively symmetrical to some of the selling that went on the prior week or so, right? So, I don't know. Symmetry is a beautiful thing when it comes to price action. I do like to look for it, and if it's there, I like it even better.
I just saw this from David. Thank you for the super chat, David. I'm going to allow this. That's true. Peter Green, the actor, passed away. He was the villain in The Mask. So you know what?
R.I.P.
In lieu of that, because and I know the midday guys were talking about this as well. If you don't know him, he was in Pulp Fiction. He was also in Pulp Fiction. He's wasn't like the famous actor, but you'd remember from The Mask and Pulp Fiction for sure. So shout out to him. And then we can, respect the stock that is 23 cents that is The Mask. But good call there, David. I didn't know that was that even the reason this morning why everyone was talking about it?
I don't think so.
Like I said, like I have a tendency, and anyone that watches the show knows this, like I'll just look behind me and be like, oh, what's the stock that's on the, like in between us on the board? And so I was just asking a question, and then I got trolled. I thought I was just getting trolled. But Mask is still up there. It's still number 2. I can tell you that DJT is kind of still going here. I don't really know. There's no story here outside of yesterday's move, which was that Fusion company combination. I don't remember the name of the company anymore. It doesn't really matter.
I didn't even read the news or like I saw DJT was moving. What is it?
They're merging with a
couple billion on there.
Fusion energy company.
Yeah.
Like, so essentially, the new company will be like 50-50 of the two. But like it's.
I got it on my radar. I'm just all right. I'm waiting for this move to finish so we can get some swings on the board.
Yeah, why not? We'll get the rundown soon in a little bit, and it'll be hilarious because I feel like if we actually have to try to cover that stock, I don't even know what I would say about it. Is YDB? Yeah, you're right. Thank you guys, Stuart in the chat. YCBD is halted. Ooh. This did not just move. This might be. This is not a volatility halt. Let me just quickly throw up the halt locator. It's not even on. It's not even here yet. Probably because it's NY. It'll show up eventually. It's not even on like the halt code board yet, so it'll probably pop up. But it didn't just make a move, so like you can't tell me that YCBD just halted. So it has to be for news. It's the only reason it could be. We'll see what the news ends up being with this one, but it is halted for news. Could be related to what the president's saying. We'll see. This was a big mover the other day, but it gave it all back. Not all, but it gave a lot of it back yesterday. I shouldn't say it gave it all back because it had a couple of gaps up. Like it has this move here. It just gave back. It gave back the second move. It didn't give back the first move yet. So we'll keep eyes on this one as it is halted. Likely news pending. I haven't seen that officially, but can't think of any other reason. It's clearly not a volatility halt. The stock did not move in the last couple of minutes. It was doing nothing and now halted, which should be a little bit spicy. So we're going to get into the rundown here where I'm pretty sure we all know at least a couple of names that are going to be on the list. Sharif?
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, you saw them. They're locked and they're loaded and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get the tickers up there, you got to get into the chat. You got to vote. Try to vote before, of course, 2 o'clock. That is the cutoff time. And also include that $sign. Otherwise, it does not register. All right, guys, let's take a look at all 4 major averages, if you allow me a second over here. And all 4 major averages, thankfully, are in positive territory, starting with the NQ leading the way, up 1 1/4 and a little bit off that high. Look at that, 25,600 on the dot. Is the high of the day on the NQ, and we're putting in lower highs. This looks awfully bullish here to end the week. Separately, the ES, much of the same pattern, just below that 6,900 point area, up into 68.93 high a day. The Dow not doing too bad into that 48,634 high, trying to hold right now. They all look like bull flags, depending on really regardless of what you're looking at here in terms of these major averages. And the Russell 2000 up nicely as well, 0.75%. Let's start though with the first ticker as cited by you, TSLA. This one was mostly negative all day. I mean, right from the get-go, it had a bit of a sell. It is almost back into to break even at that 483. A 50 area, and this headline came in today where Deutsche Bank raising their price target on Tesla, guys, from 470 up to 500.
Despite that, look, this one on the note today was watch out, fail, break 490. Like if it tries to break out this resistance, and it's every single day this week, with the exception of Monday, that it essentially failed to 490. Well, it got to or didn't press through. On Tuesday, it got to 490 without really showing much follow through, and then the next day, completely fell apart at 490. And that was on Wednesday. It was just all sell. Essentially, it was all gas, no brakes to the downside on Wednesday, and it all started with the 490 fail. Then yesterday, we had it get to 490 and then fail in the middle of the day and then make lower highs the entire way. So for myself, I ended up trading at the open right at 9:30. Palantir's breakout, so I wasn't able to grab this because if you're going to take a fail break, it's going to happen quick. Like when it fails at 490, it's very fast, and you're going to be in there right away. It ends up following through. The good news is it's got like a little reverse head and shoulders thing going on. Regained 480, which we thought it had room to get to. You're above VWAP. The market's trying to go again. Feels like we could go green on Tesla. Regardless of whatever happens this afternoon, like if it can hold this consolidation and breakout, I still don't think it'll break 490 today, but looking much better than it did earlier. Like I do think you have a decent chance. If you can hold on to VWAP, the futures can maybe at least test the local highs here. The one thing to keep in mind though this afternoon, and we'll say it a few times, it is index rebalancing today. Year-end index rebalances, lots of window dressing usually happens at the close. There's whatever happens from now until about 3:30 or so, and then a lot of things will start to be moved based on imbalances. And I will show you this early because this is what the early look. Usually I'll show you guys this, or we'll show you guys this at 3:30. This is 2:14, and look at all of the names that are over $1 million here. Like there's too many to count. BBAI is already 8.7 million to buy, and it's 2 o'clock. Pfizer 8 million. Chipotle, 6.2 million. Merck, 6.2 million. Like, look at all these. They're all huge. I'm not going to even bother listing them all. If you can think about it, it's probably on here. INQ, 2.9 million to the buy side. As I said, it is major index. Whoa, okay. Pins wasn't even here a second ago. Pins, 22 million. Sheesh.
Oh, you gotta see. I gotta check that one out right now.
It's 2:15. So there's whatever you're doing now. Just be prepared to be doing something different, or take some profits, or do a reversion, or throw it out the window come 3:30, 3:40.
Reversion, you say? Well, Tesla. Here's the thing about Tesla, man. We talked about this morning. I kind of felt the tape a little bit here on Tuesday. A little squeezy action there. Nice little balancing happening on the day after. But it's been stuck in a range. Sellers in and around here, 90s, maybe even 80s, 85s, and then buyers here as well. After we stepped up above this 60 mark. Right, buyers stepping in here in the low 60s, maybe even 75s here. But again, I want to take a look at recent price action. Yesterday, sellers were there at the 90s, and buyers were there at the 75s. Guess what happened today? Sellers were there at the 90s, and then buyers were there at the low of day of, what is that? 474.80. So more of the same here. Bigger picture range hold happening on Tesla. Definitely winding up here, consolidating near its all-time highs. And again, we talk about price action being a little bit fractal. We're consolidating near the high of day, right? We're consolidating near the highs. And is this winding up to break out? That's the question that I'm asking. When the buyers come in, they're pretty aggressive. When the sellers come in, they're pretty aggressive as well. Right, so yeah, Tesla kind of doing its own thing this morning when the market was ripping up to its highs. Tesla was like, no, you know what? I'm going to sell off a little bit, and then market kind of came in as well, giving us a little bit more oomph to the range lows here. But decent reversion coming in back towards VWAP, now holding VWAP, which is sitting at 481.68 here on Tesla, back into prior day's close levels as well. That's a little interesting to me. So decent strength on the week, I would say, holding its own near all-time highs on Tesla.
Will we actually talk?
CoreWeave, the next on the list here, guys, up over 23% and into the day's high 83.45 after they announced that they're joining the Energy Department's Genesis mission. The company said late Thursday it would open up access to its AI cloud and advanced scientific workloads for Genesis, which is a Department of Energy effort to unite scientific institutions and technology companies to accelerate scientific and energy innovation, guys. So fantastic look for CoreWeave. The boys been talking about this one all day. 83.49 at the high.
Absolutely flying. Just for anyone that didn't catch this on YCBD, YCBD is halted, news pending. Right now, there is no dissemination of the news. I haven't seen what the news may or may not be on any source. So, if you just go to like the Nasdaq trader.com page, they will have all of the codes here. So T1. Usually, what will happen? Do I have an example I can show? Okay, there you go. If something halts like news pending, like this morning, these guys had like a buyout deal announced. So it'll go T1, then it'll have news has begun dissemination, then you'll get T3, where news has been fully disseminated and there's like a resumption time. So only T1 right now. So YCBD is halted. No real idea when they will open up. The stock that did not halt today was a very orderly move to the upside on CoreWeave. Now, in some regard, in my opinion, some of this is going to be technical. We've talked about, and watch out for Medline when it does, if and when it does something like this, where you have an IPO, you get the move up, make a local high, then eventually they almost always pull back. It's the re-break of the local high sometime in the past. It's a very bullish setup, and a lot of times that price ends up being very significant. And I think that's the case. At least some of it here, like bouncing off this 65 level, I feel like that's going to be the case. So naturally, this gets to 90, maybe a bit of a fade. Like nothing in terms of the AI sentiment has changed much in this relief rally, and these guys probably are at least somewhere adjacent to the epicenter of what people are calling a bubble. Like they're not necessarily Oracle, but nothing's really bled as much from the highs as these guys did in the group. Like 180 to 70 bucks. Like what else fell that far back in the AI space? Just them, realistically. So I think there's going to be a bit of a limit. We get to 90 next week. I think it's going to turn into a bit of a fade there on CoreWeave. And there's not much to, like a lot of times I'd look at something like this. You're like, oh, well, why not do a mean reversion trade this afternoon on CoreWeave if it breaks trend? The thing about it is, like it's a very boring up move, a lot of it. So yeah, you could probably draw a trend line, but I would bet that most of the trend lines that you've drawn, like if I were to do this, which a lot of times I do, like has any of them worked? And if you look at all the trend lines, like it broke trend here at 10:30. What did that do for you? Not much. Broke trend here again. That did nothing for you. So I'm thinking probably not that big of a deal. We do have the president speaking right now. If he says anything crazy or important, we will let you guys know.
CoreWeave, I'm looking at the weekly here because we're like, okay, cool. High short float. So whenever I see that, I ask the question, all right, okay, where are some of the players kind of potentially sitting here? You can see this run up that happened in June. That looks like a great reversion, about a 50% reversion. That's all the way up at 162s. But even then, if you took the second leg down, potentially sitting here in 120, in around 120s to 140s. That's the backside lower high as well. Again, this is the weekly on CoreWeave. We're getting a little bit of a bump, maybe a lick grab of the lows there at 65.76s at the beginning of this week. But yeah, definitely there's a buyer on board on the day today because this grinding action definitely signifies something. So yeah, definitely a lot of straight up buying, kind of doing its own thing as of right now. You can see that it's way extended off of VWAP. So got to have eyes on. Let's see how it closes again with rebalances. Maybe there's something going on here as well. That's all I got on CoreWeave.
A lot's happening in the market for sure, but I'll tell you, I was just digging into, well, we've been digging into some exchanges and stumbled across BTCC. They're top 20, top 30 globally. But you know what? They've never been hacked. You might have heard that before, not once. Other exchanges get wrecked, but BTCC stays untouched. 0 KYC if you happen to be in the US, Canada, or Europe. And on top of that, through Trader TV, you can get 100 USDT coupons for registering and a 15% bonus that covers losses up to 15K USDT. Seriously, what are we missing here? Not much. You can scan the QR code in front of you for more information, link also in the description. Somebody's mic was live.
Someone's mic is live, definitely right now.
I'm still hearing it too. I don't know whose mic is still live. Just quickly before we go back over to Sharif, I've been in IBIT since the volume weighted average price. I just trailed out. So if it gets to VWAP again, just want to quickly show you guys a chart plan of action. If we can come to my chart for a second. Thank you. If we come back all the way to the volume weighted average price, like I was short here once and then just reloading on each pop. But once it broke that higher low, which was also the opening range bottom, I just trailed out of it. But I'm going to look to re-engage if we get to the volume weighted average price. It's about, I mean, it'd be pretty close to that 88,000 mark is what I've been working off of so far. So that's the plan of action for IBIT this afternoon. DJT still kind of gently gliding higher. The president is supposed to be discussing drug prices. So like this doesn't have anything to do with DJT, but it just happens to be going anyway. So you know what? Like let's look at it this way. If DJT's up like 30-something% yesterday and 11% today, and it's holding VWAP and the president's going to talk, why not just be long? Like what's the worst that can happen? Like, it breaks VWAP, you lose. It just goes up because he's talking. So what? Like, doesn't have to make any sense. It just has to work. Let's go back to the desk, see what the next symbol is. And I'm glad we didn't actually have to talk about the mask.
Now he's gotten into the crux of the news conference, which is about, of course, pharmaceuticals. And if I can show what's on the screen here, this came out. Several manufacturers agree. Wrong screen, Ram. Several manufacturers agree to donate active pharmaceutical ingredients to U.S. Strategic Reserve. Companies will offer many drugs direct to consumer at lower prices through TrumpRx website. TrumpRx website on pace for a January launch, notes a U.S. official. So I'm listening to his address right now, reading the captions there. He basically said, look, I wanted to speak about this when I addressed the nation a few nights ago during prime time, but there were a couple of shows launching, and they only gave him about 15 minutes. Separately here, DJT is the one that is next, guys. We already know what the headline with this is, tying up with TAE for nuclear fusion. DJT trying to increase its moat out of social media.
Not even, like, it's okay. We talked about this morning. It goes from social media to crypto to fintech, and now we're going to fusion, which realistically, so here's the thing.
Playing hopscotch.
We've been talking about fusion power for a very long time. Like, it's in science fiction. It's been like science fiction for a long time, and it's been like, oh, this is going to be the future. That being said, there's actual gains that are being made, and some of it a lot of it actually has to do with AI. Like,
solving a lot of those problems.
And the funny thing about it is, there's so much hype that went around quantum computing, when really the level of breakthroughs have not been that crazy. Why are we hitting the bear thing? I'm trying to actually be a little bit bullish about this if I can. Everyone gets hyped about quantum computing, which could be potentially years away, but it's like, okay, well, fusion power could be just as big of a deal, and at the end of the day, why not bet on a breakout? Here's where everyone keeps calling me a DJT bear. What I've been consistently saying is, I don't know any way to, like, how do you properly value? You're going to get this 1-to-1, so the new company is going to be half DJT, half whatever the other company, I forget the name of it off the top of my head. How do you properly value? You can't really properly value like any upside here. So you have to sort of treat this as if it was like just like a Rigetti or any kind of squeeze thing. Play momentum on it. If you happen to be in early, like anyone that bought the SPAC price, like the 10, when it goes back into some key price levels, well, that's a support level. So if you're in this at like $10 or $11, well, fine. Like you're in it off of a support level. If you're buying it up here, well, then you're just kind of hoping that you're getting some kind of a moment for fusion names. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just skeptical with it. I happen to be in it off VWAP because that's a day trade, but it's also powering into a very long consolidation level here, 17, 18, which I think is going to be some trouble. Like I'm looking to sell this in front of 17 just for the day trade here. And it's a big, big wall that this is facing. Now, if it can break through there, I would think you start squeezing some people heavily. And it's done it before, but there hasn't been as much follow through before. And that's the one thing that I'd be at least a little bit skeptical about.
Yeah, so DJT, I think I like your trade there, holding that VWAP pretty clean. You can see a nice little consolidation for over an hour. I have about roughly over an hour and a half here. Just holding, cannot get through, and stepping on top. Look, there's a little bit of confluence here. Opening range highs, it's holding those as well in and around $16. So yeah, 16.48 currently it's trading at. Bit of a day two continuation move. So if you were watching this off of the open, you can see here what it did with prior day's range. This is when the news came out. Let's get that VWAP out of there. News came out, nice little pop, holding, higher highs, higher lows, closing near the high a day, and then closing range high. You can see that. That holds pretty well. Confluence with $15 flat. Like what was the low on the opening range low? 14.89. So held 15 like a champ and then broke its opening range high through 16 into 17. So in terms of momentum, look at the volume spikes we got on those breakouts. So yeah, definitely a decent vehicle for day trading on the day today. Let's see how it closes. But that VWAP hold above opening range high, definitely a decent amount of confluence.
Our guys, Intuitive Machines shares trading higher after KeyBank Capital initiated coverage on the name with a $20 price target and an overweight rating. A fantastic look today for LUNR. I was involved in this one on the midday, up about 35% separately. I want to bring you this. Howard Lutnick says the U.S. has already sold over $1.3 billion of Trump's gold card, where individuals can pay $1 million to get U.S. permanent residency. Separately, President Trump, speaking at their news conference right now, says Johnson & Johnson will be in the White House next week to discuss price cuts to some pharmaceuticals. Also, he's crediting the drop in price, of course, to tariffs. He said tariffs are what forced pharma companies to reach deal. And if there's any more updates on that, I will bring that to you. But guys, LUNR up 34 3/4.
100 people that just bought that gold card. I mean, what? I think that's when I first heard of that idea, I was like, that's absolutely beautiful. Like, I mean, like, you know, it's sometimes things are pay to play, and if you can, you definitely should. So yeah.
It's hard to see a loss there.
Kim Jong-un bought 2 dozen.
I don't even know what's going on.
No, I just heard Sharif say, what? Someone said that in the chat? Saying Kim bought 200 or something. 200 of those. Kind of funny.
Because obviously.
Funny.
Well, we're supposed to be talking about Intuitive Machines,
right.
Realistically.
Lunar. I mean, Lunar, a little bit of a launch here on the day. There you go. Boom.
You got a button for that one. Oh, yeah, I'll say so. This one is definitely, like, there's a portion of this that's going to just be squeezed. What's our short float here? Let me quickly double check on Lunar. I see 22.5% short float on 113 million float. It's done 30% of that today in volume. On the daily chart, it's broken out. What I would say, the only issue about this quote unquote, well, I just said it, so it's not really quote unquote. The only issue I would say about this breaking out is look at these local highs. Yeah, it's broken the last high, but every time it's broken the last high, this is a bit of an upward trend, and it's ended with topping tail candles. So I would be a little bit, I wouldn't like this if you get a topping tail candle over this trend line and then another one on Monday. Well, that's not bullish. This probably then pulls back like it's done every other time. What you want to see happen is it closes above 15, opens above 15, and then closes on Monday above 15. Then I'd feel better. You can start consolidating over prior highs instead of getting to a new high here locally and then just sort of failing it. So yeah, if you're long it now, if you're long, it's kind of like DJT. Like if you're long and you're in the money, like that's great. But at this price level, there's a little bit of concern that it's just going to pull another topping tail, which it's been doing on this trend line pretty much the entire second half of the year. There's 4 separate fails. Oh, sorry, 3 fails. This would be the 4th if it can't close It's more like 14, like 75 that it needs to close above, not 15 even.
Right. Millions of concussions, 0 approved therapies. Orogenics, that's OGEN on the NYSE, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Orogenics is positioned to drive what comes next. See what's ahead. Book a meeting today. All right, so Intuitive Machines here. I don't know if the move was very intuitive, but it's trying to blast off as of right now. You can see here, weekly breakout is happening right here, right now. What is that high? That's a high of $14.48. We're currently trading at 14.61s. So yeah, we are past that breakout price, pushing a little bit higher. You can see just looking back at the chart, so maybe some strong selling coming in here at about 22, maybe consolidation low breakdown where people might be slamming into this. 1750s is where that is. So yeah, maybe if this continues, it definitely has some space to go a little bit higher. But yeah, on the day, I do like what it's doing in terms of holding higher highs and higher lows. Extension from VWAP is very apparent here, so kind of showing us that buyers are very much in charge on a day like today.
Look at some of these. Have you seen AMD today? I just saw in the chat a couple people mentioning AMD. Like, look at this sucker.
I mean, someone was trying to short that or looking for a potential short at that supply zone earlier this morning.
Oh yeah, up here. Well, you know what? You might have made something if you shorted the 212 level for sure.
Yeah. You got back to VWAP.
Yeah, you pulled back into VWAP for sure, and it's at another supply zone right now at 215 bucks. So like this easily, if it just put a parabolic candle in here, so big time breakout. Maybe not the biggest volume, but it's afternoon, so it's a decent enough volume candle. You zoom it in a little bit, but you have this high, more or less on Monday. Call it the Monday morning bounce level, Monday afternoon resistance at 15. This would be the spot. Like if you're looking a reversion on this, it's this fail at 215, then you get the back end here that it's trying to put in. I also saw. We didn't really talk too much about the wheat stocks. You can't really know what's gonna be interesting, but there is obviously the disappointment yesterday with the president's announcement on the cannabis space. You'll see MSOS actually up 4%. This is a very deceiving 4% up because it's clearly been trending down most of the day here, so not really the greatest day for MSOS. I was trading TLRY, and that still looks pretty bad. Although I'm looking at the reason I bring this up. Should be very obvious. I'm only bringing it up because TLRY is at VWAP again, and every single time it's been at VWAP, I've been short. It's only 230, so I'll probably take it one more time here. Just going to give it a little bit of time just to roll over a little bit. I'm already getting one lower high on TLRY here, down 7.5%. It has been weak, but I'm looking for another rollover underneath VWAP. But I've been trying to, I feel like getting it when it's breaking down has been better. I'm going to wait for it to get back underneath VWAP and then take a shot at TLRY for the 4th time today. Really just only been looking short that name. And unfortunately, DJT is coming back to VWAP. So I'm more than likely going to reload. Unless it plows through the volume weighted average price, I'll just get out. But if it holds again, I'll take another shot at it. But we should get to a super chat that I just saw a super chat in here. So let's throw it up on the screen and send it to the screen now. We've got Nicholas Fam. What up, fam? Hi, Neil, Obe. NVIDIA February options today or next week. That's a little ambiguous. There's
so you want to either buy zero DTEs? Oh, you mean no? You want to buy February options today or next week? I mean, what difference would that really make? Like, what's happening today? Maybe through OPEX? If you're buying for February, I don't know. I don't know if today's.
Well, here's the first question to ask: is are you buying it anyways? If you're buying anyways because you just want to be long, oftentimes like a day like today, if you get big down moves on rebalances, can be a great timing issue to buy. Like you get like a big spike to the downside if there's like big sell imbalances, and then you wait till after that happens and then pick them up on Monday after all of this rebalancing is done. Like typically, I like to wait. But if you're like compelled, like you want to buy it, then I would wait until after the rebalance. That's just me. I think we're going directly to Sia at the desk.
Thank you, guys. As we all know, U.S. President Donald Trump is currently speaking. Couple things that he said by now. The only reason unemployment went up is that we are reducing the government workforce like numbers we have never seen before. We don't need 10 people to fill one job. Things like I could reduce unemployment to 0% by hiring people in the federal government, but we don't need federal workforce jobs anymore. Another comment that just came in is we're going to put tariffs on EU countries if they do not reduce policies and make good money off of them. And America will get the lowest price in pharmaceuticals compared to anywhere by the world by next year. If there's any more updates, I will be sure to let you know. But let's also quickly take a look at a couple things today. The Michigan Consumer Sentiment was released earlier today at 10 a.m. The number now stands at 52.9, which is higher than the previous, which stood at 51. Also, quick news for you all today. Oracle has joined hands with an investor group that is running TikTok's business in the United States. The stock, as a reaction to this, jumped 7%, and this deal will prevent the shutdown of the app's operations in the country related to certain security issues, as we all know it. Oracle will also be responsible for auditing and validating TikTok on the agreed-upon security terms. Overall, Oracle shares are up 8% this year and have pulled back over 20% over the last month. Nike sales in Greater China also fell 17% after it reported its earnings last night. CEO Elliott Hill said that the company will have to reset its approach in China. Nike stock also fell 9% in the pre-market today after the Q2 report yesterday, currently doing up 0.2%. Sales in North America also have risen by 9% to 5.63 billion compared to sales in China, down 17%. However, Nike brand revenues did climb 1% to 12.1 billion compared to the Wall Street expectations for flat sales at 11.9 billion. And that's all. Back to the guys, and I'll let you know if there's any updates.
Thank you, of course, Sia. Appreciate you. And I see you guys with NBY here. It's flying higher. I still can't see a story on this thing. I've been searching.
Overbay?
I've been searching. You guys tell me.
Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals. Oh.
You hear that? Nova Bay What did I just hear? I just heard like a voice. It doesn't really matter. I'm just old and hearing things.
Increasing, look at the volume.
No,
increasing
the volume is going absolutely ham on this.
Yeah.
It's up 87%.
Also
I don't
been
see
running.
a story. It's been running. It had a huge move to the downside yesterday, but it's been really going. This is probably just like a squeeze, like a continuation squeeze or something like that, and then it gets technical when it makes a fresh high. So yeah, Nova Bay is moving. I'd be at least, when it's moving on no catalyst whatsoever, if I can't find something, I usually get very, very skeptical of this for any kind of a follow through, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be buying these off the highs, especially, given the fact that there's no story or catalyst that I can always find. I did get TLRY eventually off that VWAP, so I'm going to be into that one again. And looks like maybe Luis Edwards just put something in the chat. I want to shout you out there regards to YCBD, but I haven't seen that hit the wire yet, so I cannot confirm. I couldn't confirm if this is the story that YCBD is halted because North Carolina's government contract is the reason for the halt. I do not know that to be true, but we do know that YCBD is halted, news pending. But I don't know if that's the actual news. So Adara is going to be all over that. That's what she does. I haven't seen anything either, but at some point we'll see. So the president is not speaking about fusion power. It'd be kind of cool if he did, but he's not, so we're coming right back into VWAP. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
if we break it clean, I'm just going to get out. If we bounce, I'm going to reload. But I think the issue is, what are you going to do? Like, he's supposed to be talking about drug prices. It's just in the economy. There's no reason why he would mention, and it would be pretty weird if he did, and I think a lot of people would criticize. So yeah, I wanted to hold on to something just in case we got the spike, but it doesn't seem like it's happening.
I kind of like that trade because you were like, yeah, he's speaking. Like, you can go long. Maybe he says something, maybe he doesn't. But here's the thing: as long as the buyers are there, you're involved. And then when the selling comes in, guess what? Maybe people were expecting the same thing, and they're like, oh, he's not saying anything. He's not saying anything about it.
Uh-oh.
Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of out of the position there. But yeah, no, it's just a theory, you know. But this Nova Bay, yeah, no, I'm looking at the multi-day move here, Neil, and take a look at this. Monday, December 8th is when this move really starts to kind of start to happen there. We break above $1 off of the opening session and just off to the races there. Since then, we've been, we're up about, what, 300% in about 11 days. That's absolutely wild, going parabolic with expanding volume after a strong sell-off day all the way into $3 here yesterday. So maybe a bit of a Friday end-of-week squeeze happening here as of right now. I think we got a pass to Dara.
You guys know here, YCBD, Neil and Obi, I did look into this. No news I can find. A handful of comments there on X, but they're just like random tags. You know, when a stock's hot, people just tagging the stock. And even then, there's not as many as I would expect. So it seems like this is still going to be a medical mystery here for YCBD. Back to you.
Why? Wow. AMD is still going. That's crazy. All right, so there goes VWAP on DJT. I said if it broke it clean, I'd just get out. So I'm now out of it. But I guess that rollover is not happening. See, like look at how quickly we start heading to the downside when it breaks the volume weighted average price. You know, I think it was worth a shot to see if it could follow through. A lot of times I would just have trailed out, but the president was talking. I think you want a free roll in that situation because if it gets up to 17 and breaks a high, you can go 2-1 on that. But AMD, there is no lower high. So guess what? I won't be reverting this thing. Not if it's going to keep putting in higher lows and potentially break out the top. It just keeps on going and going and going here at Advanced Micro Devices.
Something's yeah.
You're reading Trinet in the chat?
No. I'm just saying.
Why CBD? Why not CBD? The chat is undefeated today.
Good one.
Whether it's just simply trolling me over that maize stock, or sorry, mask stock, or just making jokes on your own. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. But no, CBD, I don't know if it's going to, we don't know when it'll open up, but the thing about it is it won't open without first showing us, like if you go here, if anyone keeps asking about it, like it still says T1. Like you don't halt news pending without it going all the way. You'll see T2 and T3, and until all of this is filled in, and you'll also see like a quote resumption time. So all that fills in, there's pretty much no chance that it opens up. So you can just put if you're stuck in this stock or you're interested in this stock, just go to NASDAQtrader.com and trade Halt, or just Google that, find the page, and until you see this fill in, it ain't opening. So you can just sit there and wait all you want for sure.
I like the Lud Ps. Those are the Lud P halts.
Oh, limit up.
Limit up, down. What does a P stand for? Pause?
Yeah, probably pause.
Maybe pause. I don't know.
I'm guessing. I honestly have no idea.
I've always called them the Lud P.
I call it limited up down. What, Lud P? It's a weird.
I'm just reading what it says, right? LUDP. So yeah, no. AMD still running to the upside. I'm looking for the next trade potentially. I've been kind of knocking on the door of AVGO here. A little bit of a. I mean, you can see that aggressive selling on Wednesday. That was nice. Some more selling coming in yesterday off of the open. Today, a little distinctly different, a bit of a bid, but selling coming right back in on a false break of 340s. Holding VWAP now. I was looking to take this, maybe fade it a little bit below VWAP here, but not really having it as of right now as we trade back above 336 halves. VWAP sitting at 336.25s here. Also watching this Palantir as well. Palantir kind of strong. Dips below this range. How long was this range formed for? About, let's say about 3 hours. Wow, about 3 hours we have a range lows that came in. I guess it's just wicking that 190 price. We get down pretty distinctly, right? No more wicks there, but we cannot get lower than 189.18s and then swoop right back above VWAP there. 190.25s and now trading back above, maybe on its way to the high of the range. So I think we're going to go to Sia for small caps.
Before we go into small cap, quick update. Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, and Novo Nordisk have already struck deals with Trump administration to cut prices. However, Johnson & Johnson, AbbVie, and Regeneron are remaining companies that have not joined. I haven't signed the current drug pricing deals yet, but Trump did make a comment today saying that Johnson & Johnson will be here next week. That's all. Let's move to small cap. So the Russell is doing good today. Health, electronic tech, energy minerals performing great. Finance is not doing the best. Let's take a look at a couple individual tickers. BE, Bloom Energy, up 8%. The COO and CFO of the company surrendered 431 and 3,000 shares respectively. The reason for doing this was to cover exercise costs and certain tax liabilities. The sale has accounted to over $280,000 and $35,000 respectively. BBIO, sorry, just a second. BBIO is up 0.76%, doing pretty well after the CEO made a decision to sell over 30,000 shares valued at $2.2 million as of 16th of December. Moving on to SATS, EcoStar. EcoStar is up 3.1%. Company shares jumped 3.3% today during the early morning session after the announcement that the price target is raised to $131 per share from $97 per share by Deutsche Bank. The stock is now volatile and has 35 moves, greater than 5% last year. And lastly, we're going to take a look at APLD, Applied Digital, which is up 13.6% after securing a development loan facility with Macquarie Group to finance the establishment of AI factory campuses. And that's all for your small cap. Back to the guys.
APLD has been beast mode today, just another runner, 14% to the upside. And a lot of people have been excited. I'm pretty sure we saw this one in the midday a little bit here. For sure, but oh, come on. You can't have nice things. Tesla it was looking like it was going to go and maybe break that resistance from the morning, but that doesn't seem to be happening anymore. Unfortunately, Tesla's starting to come back in a little bit. I have my eyeballs on Bitcoin. As I see you in the chat, Bill's camp. First of all, we're going to handle business this weekend. Yeah, we're at VWAP, but I don't want to just get short because it's at VWAP. Like the last time I shorted VWAP, I let it break a couple times, then roll over. So that's what I'm looking for, some kind of a curl, a reason to get in, not just because it hit the line on the chart. Let's go to Adara.
Amgen CEO or executive anyway is currently speaking here on Repatha being added to Trump RX coming forward. Again, we do have some CEOs speaking or executives speaking from these health companies at this event. As I get more details, I'll let you know. AMGN not really moving in this, but again, executive was just speaking at this announcement. We'll send you back over to Neil and Obi.
Thank you. Right, so
Fabian walks over and just, he's like, he's saying Meta's at 666, which it actually held a little bit earlier. A
little bit of a level on the day today.
Well, it's an ominous price, but it has been a level.
Talk about psychological levels. I don't know if 666 is a psychological level. It might be an ominous level.
Yeah,
I don't know about a psychological.
It's not like It's not like 420 on Tesla or anything.
Absolutely not. Like 420 is probably the strongest psychological level of since 2019, 2021.
Yeah, outside of just like round numbers like 100 or something. But I would agree with you on that. But you know what? We have our good friend. We talk to him every single Friday. At least we try to get some ideas, talk a little shop. It is our buddy Steve Tileman from Trade the Pool. Steve, looking fresh. You got the white cap, the white
chain going on. Let's go.
How's the week been treating you?
Oh, it's been a good week. If you know me, you know I can't shut up about Rivian. So finally getting that breakout, it's been a good one for us. Yeah. How about you guys? Doing well?
Okay, well, you know what? I'm not complaining one bit. Like, every day's been pretty solid, been pretty green. Haven't always, like yesterday, I missed a crypto move. I missed a fade in IBIT, which kind of sucked. But most of the day's been fantastic. It was a good IPO this week. But there's a bit of an event happening at the end of the day today. I want to get your thoughts on this because not only do we have triple witching today, it's all the major index rebalancing, Steve. So now I know you're in Rivian. You probably have some other swing positions on. What's your approach, if any, with this event? Because sometimes we see wild swings at the close, which maybe could run stops, use some trades. Do you ignore it? Do you have plays? What are you looking at for what could be a pretty violent close?
Well, I'm glad you asked, and I think it's a really, really good timing here. So basically, the setup that I've been watching all day. In the morning, we played long to 680. That's been the massive gamma pin, and you can see it's on my charts here. I can zoom in just a little bit if you like. So anyways, essentially, this is the range that we were selling into in the morning, and now we are looking to see if we can return back there and perhaps underneath there as this large gamma expiry rolls off. So it's a very, very large expiry, options expiry in terms of just how much gamma is at that 680 level. So this is a learning day for me. I want to see how this OPEX will play into it, but I have a sneaking suspicion we might be topping here. So I am short on UPRO, and we'll see if we get the move back to the 680 into the close.
There you go. The 680 play, I was reading up on it this morning. I tend to be on your side for that. But let's just talk about Rivian for a quick little second, because let's pivot over to, it's been an unbelievable rally. The last 2 days, obviously, but heck, Rivian's been going since 13 bucks. So the breakout, look, this local breakout has happened. Right? Anybody can see like it holding $10. There's your rounded bottom. Once it took out 19, it's been 2 days of big time upside. So, okay, walk everybody through what's next here. There's obviously room to go. I mean, it hasn't done well since its IPO. Maybe it'll never get to those all-time highs again, but what are you looking for next? It's another 9% today. It's now, what, it'll be like 14% from the breakout price. There's a lot going on here. Are you holding for another level? Are you holding to end of year? What's the plan of action with Rivian?
Absolutely, Neil. So a few things here. The first is that I did trim for the first time today just because we are into this weekly gap. We have a nice little gap on the weekly chart here. You can see that little light blue rectangle there. So we wicked up into it. We pushed up into it. And just when I started to see a little bit of sellers, obviously we are overstretched on an intraday basis in terms of its ATR, or its average true range, given that it's a breakout. So I just want to take some off the table because I already monetized my options too early into 20. I always do that with options. I just get antsy and sell. But that's what the shares are for. So we're trimming here. We're holding for the next big level for the breakout of 28. And then some are just going to stay in my port forever because I think it might go back to all-time highs someday.
Oh, there it is. See, after I just said the likelihood of, because I mean, the all-time highs on Rivian are pretty intense. But you know what? In the EV space, kind of going to be like that. There will probably be a bunch of names that go under. Like there's going to be people that have the fate of like I don't know, who was it that went bankrupt? It was
Nikola.
Nikola's one. No,
Nikola's
but
a
Nikola's
big
not
one.
really.
Yeah.
I don't really count them. They were a scam. There were a couple of them. Workhorse hasn't been doing too well, but
They went a little, was it downhill?
no, there was one that went to the pink sheets that I'm forgetting. But not that it matters. It's not a really big deal. But the winners should do, if one or two end up winning, there is tremendous upside there. But you don't have to worry about getting to new all-time highs if we were to talk about silver, Steve, because we're here again. Every time we talk to you, we're talking about the fact that this is making another all-time high. I know you love the metals. Here's my question. Instead of, okay, where is it going? We've already talked technicals about this before, and I know you can talk, feel free to talk about them again. What do you think we're doing next year in the metals? Because it can't possibly be this good again, can it?
Well, I will say probably not this good. This has been an incredible year. I will say I expect the trend in metal dominance and in commodity dominance in general to keep on ramping up. I'm seeing such relative strength and such amazing long-term bases in some of these commodities. Copper, for example, FCX, that's on my watch list. Even though it's up 20% in a month or so, these are the names I want to be buying dips on into next year. And I'm just so darn bullish on them. I'm adding more silver miners up here. FSM is the newest pickup for me. And I'm just letting the thesis keep on going because it's a long-term thesis and it's playing out perfectly.
Oh, you're killing. I really like that FCX one. Because we're actually going to be doing like our picks for 2026 next year. And I've been kind of going through a few. Like I have a short list, let's just say. And last year, something similar happened. We were doing like the show like a couple of weeks before we did our picks. And I remember it coming up, and then we were discussing. I'm like, well, I can't use this stock now. But no, I really do like that FCX call. I'm not as bullish on silver. It's been so big, the move. You just got to feel like there's a pullback coming in here. Is there anything? Okay, you mentioned FCX. Is there anything that has, I asked this question to Brendan and Sharif this morning, right? You're hoping for a parabolic move there. Silver's already done one. Is there anything that's already done a parabolic move? And the example I used was Bloom Energy. That's already done a parabolic move, that is pulled back, that you think is going to do a deeper dive. Maybe it's a quantum name, maybe it's an energy name, it could be anything that you're looking to dip by. So I'm talking something that is cratered on a pullback, or like CoreWeave recently, right? Is there anything that's done a huge pullback that you think is making a bottoming pattern that could have a second leg? So let's forget about things that have been strong. Anything weak that's on your mind for next year?
Yeah, well, you know, my biggest pickup yesterday, I'm smiling about it. So Oracle, we were buying the dip here, and essentially we were buying the gap fill here. And what really put it on my radar, because it had tapped it yesterday or 2 days ago, and I did not partake. But what got me involved on the following day, this blue arrow, this inside day, was a big giant order of ORCX, and this is the 2x leveraged Oracle. So I saw the big volume initially, and then I saw more volume pushing through this. It was a big block order on this day here, and it just was enough to pique my interest. And we got lucky. We timed the TikTok news, but you know, it's not mind reading. It's just lots of volume in at a logical technical level.
Well, I can tell you I'm a little bit jealous of that, because I remember a similar thing happened, and I remember being like, oh, I like MP materials here. And I didn't pull the trigger that day. I'm like, well, there's no real catalyst. I should wait. And the next day was the Department of Justice thing. Like, you've got
oh man,
it's like,
yeah,
when that happens,
right? You know, they wait to the last moment for you.
when you're buying those things on a deep pullback, you can't wait for the last moment. It's absolutely insane too. Good look on Oracle. Our good friend Joey Options, as we call him around here, has a question for you, Steve. I believe he is mic'd up. Let's throw him on. Oh, he is? He isn't? I don't know. Maybe not. If he's not ready, then when he is, we will. I know Obi wants to talk to you as well, so we'll go Obi first, and then we'll get Joe on.
Okay, so I had a question. I do like the commodities idea. We're seeing a lot of strength in commodities. How strong of a factor do you think it is that we're shifting from a quantitative tightening to easing, and how much that plays a part in the strength in commodities, and is that adding confluence to your bid in commodities?
You know, it definitely doesn't hurt. I think that it's pretty complex, and I won't pretend to be an expert in the metal space. You know, all these commodities, you can't look at any of them in isolation. They all move in relation to each other, and there are a few more that I'd like to talk about, but not to get too off track. In general, here I go getting off track. I'm so sorry. What was the exact question again?
Go for it. No, I'm saying quantitative easing, is that adding, so we're sort of moving into that kind of a regime. So is that adding confluence to the commodities trade? Is that like for the bid for that?
Sure. Sorry. So essentially, it's going to add confluence to any long trade that I'm looking at. You know, nothing doesn't like quantitative easing. In terms of the relative strength, I'm going to stay in my lane and not speculate as to the exact reason why these commodities are, as baskets, outperforming other sectors, specifically tech. But you know what? I am gonna take part in that trade and just trust the smart money that they're knowing what they're doing. And as long as that the ratio charts keep showing dominance in commodities, I'm still in the trade.
That sounds good. Yeah. I think Joe is ready for us right here with a question. Go for it. Joe?
There we go.
There he is.
Okay, we'll come back. We don't have Joe right now, but we'll come back when we get that set up. Sorry about that, Steve. I thought we had Joey Options set up and locked and loaded and ready to go.
Oh, it's muted? Oh, okay.
But he was just muted, so we'll get him back.
Okay, all right.
And I wanted to thank you for your thoughts there, obviously.
All right.
But if there's one thing that I know, if you're a technical trader, and I just want to get your opinion on this, because every time I talked about DJT this morning, I got accused of being very bearish. And all I was trying to point out was like the history of the momentum of the stock. Now, obviously, there's very few things doing as much volume in the last couple of days on what actually might be a decent catalyst, like this fusion story, right? So like there might be something there with fusion. I equate it to like quantum. Have you looked at this stock? It's almost been impossible for day traders to not have looked at this. And then after you're done, I think we're going to be ready for Joe.
Sure thing. Man, you're just hitting all the things I wanted to talk about anyway. I love this. So DJT was on our focus list overnight just because of that amazing push and quite a significant catalyst. I know a very smart gentleman who's been short via leap puts for a long time, and he finally closed. And he's a big fundamentals trader, and he said this narrative could make this thing really squeeze. I don't want to stand in the way of it. So for me, it was a breakout setup through the high of the day. We saw the breakout first thing in the morning. We got a higher low that we got involved in. So this put it on our radar when we saw the trigger hit. By the time I looked at it, it was already down here. So I was waiting to find buyers stepping in. We saw them stepping in here, and then the higher low here got us really interested. The break of this neckline, and you can see my my trigger system here has a pretty significant level on these purple dotted lines. So when we reclaimed that, it was off to the races in my book, and we booked profit into 17. So pretty much perfect.
Awesome, Steve. There we go.
To see you once again, and I heard you talking about options, so that's what leads me and brings me into this conversation, and I think it's really important. So my question to you is, for example here, I have MU, and we were talking about this morning, Micron that is, and you were talking about your Rivian call, I believe it was Rivian calls, but essentially what I want to get at here and what you can relay to the viewers and everybody else who is new or even trading options is that we have just established a new all-time high, but yet this contract that once again is expiring today is essentially worthless. So what can traders do from an option standpoint to kind of combat against theta, and when do you want to take profit out, especially when stocks are at all-time highs and you see the effects of the contract and theta within the contract?
Absolutely, Joey. Good to see you, and great question. So there are a few kind of tools we can use to mitigate the effect of theta. The first one is pretty simple. It's just buy more time than you think you need. I know it's the boring answer, but there you go, the bang. Because boring works, you know? And buying an extra month or two, it's going to keep you a lot safer just in terms of being able to weather the small drawdowns that all stocks need to experience, right? So I call it the wiggle, and you got to let stocks wiggle on you a little bit. So a little bit of theta helps. And another tool you can look at is call spreads. So vertical debit spreads, where you're essentially saying, hey, for MU, for example, say you think it's going to go to 275, nice round number. Maybe it's a measured move from the base, whatever your system is. So you look at that, you go, okay, I think it's going to 275. I don't think it's going to scream to, for example, 290. So then we can sell the 290 call against the 275 call that we're buying, and then we'll be targeting that 275 to 290 zone, and we're basically just selling off the extra premium that we don't need. So that can really, really help with the theta burn, because as time goes on, the more out of the money contract, that will be hurt more by the theta, and the thing you sold is being deprecated faster than the thing you bought. So that's why it helps.
Yeah, no, fantastic answer, and that's what I try to talk about all the time. Time is extremely important when you're buying these contracts, and the more that you buy, I get it, we get it. You understand that the weekly and the monthly do look attractive, but it's really hard to turn profitable on those contracts, especially once that theta really starts to accelerate. So fantastic point. I 100% agree with you, and thank you for that.
Absolutely. And you know, if I might just add one more thing, the other great thing about options, because you're sacrificing a lot to use this instrument. So what do you gain? You gain access to this gamma pop, where the contract will ramp so fast if you get a direct move. So for me, these are tools. I love zero DTEs, but I play them like this morning where we opened low and I knew where the draw was. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'm out $100.
Exactly.
So yeah, definitely like your take there.
Fixed risk. Yeah, perfect. Thanks. Great stuff, Steve. Thank you. Send you back over to Neil.
Hey, Steve, we're going to go to a Derek. We have some news that you can see in the front of the headline here. There's a host of comments being made about the insurance industry. We're going to get a Dara on to update everybody, but UNH is tanking on this news. $3 so far and still falling.
Okay, I didn't even realize we were going right to me, so let's talk about this. It's funny, Neil, it actually wasn't a host of comments. It was just one comment like 4 times. Trump wants to meet with the insurance companies. He said this a couple times. Then he said he'd meet with them in Florida or somewhere else. He wants to do this in the new year. He wants to get their prices down. He also said that some of their stocks are up 1,800% or more. It's unclear what the time frame was on that, but either way, Trump does not like the insurance companies. This is not the first time he has said these opinions, but the mentioning of the meeting is what really seemed to drop the market. And every time he said it, which again was at least 3 or 4, before the market, or UNH specifically, seemed to drop a little bit more, I saw CI, Cigna, which is another health insurer, apparently they were also moving on this. In fact, they were, but there's going to be a lot less volume on CI than what you're going to see with the UNH. Again, the story here is U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly asking for meetings with insurance companies. There is a link as well with some details in our chat. I did drop it in our chat. Back to you, Neil and Obi.
Yeah, but drop. I believe we still have Steve. I want to get him back on because I know we're wrapping up this power hour, but Steve, you're still here. I want to give you a chance. I tried to cover everything of it as interesting as we could, but we always give you one shot here. We have a couple of weeks left. Do we get to talk to you next week? I know it's a holiday shortened week. Are we going to get to talk to you next week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to come in.
Okay, perfect. But either way, if there's anything that you haven't covered, something on your mind, a trade, an idea, whatever it might be, I want to give you a chance to give it to us for sure. So if there's anything that you want to end us with, let us know.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is the first time I'm going to see you guys before Christmas. So first off, Merry Christmas, guys. Hope you have a great one. Second off, I got a fun little trade for you, a little thematic trade. Everybody's debating, are we going to get the Santa rally? Are we going to get coal for Christmas? I've already made the decision. I'm getting coal for Christmas because I am long BTU. Okay. It's my coal trade and my Christmas trade here for a swing.
Okay, so you're thinking coal, he likes BTU. I like the call, appreciate it. And thank you so much. Of course, wish you a Merry Christmas to you, your family, and all of your friends. Hope you enjoy it. And we look forward to speaking to you next week. It's Steve Talman, one of our good friends from Trade the Pool. You can always check him out. Do you have anything upcoming where they can find you? You want to let us know?
Yeah, that'd be great. So first off, if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter at Steve Tileman. Just search my name, you'll find me. My Discord is in the bio. That's where I hang out. That's why I don't post on Twitter very much. But today you can find me doing a webinar on intermediate gamma exposure techniques, what's going on with the gamma exposure and how to trade them actionably. So we'll have 5 strategies for you. We used a couple of them today and we're going to talk about that. So you can find that 40 minutes after the bell, 40 minutes after the market close on Trade the Pool's YouTube channel. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Steve. Best of wishes to you and all of your trades, and good luck there. And again, have a very Merry Christmas, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, take care, brother. Yeah, it's actually still going down, Humana and United Health. You're not really
staring this tape. I'm staring this tape down, and I was like, is this gonna revert? This bid came right back up into 330s, and just watching it really closely, it got slapped right back down through those consolidation lows right here. That was around 329.60s, and then slamming even lower, 328.27s currently. Let's see what we do with prior day's range, because this is intraday news right here, and sellers keep hitting it. This dollar down again, 327s coming right back up. So what was that low? That was a little quick little shake and bake, 326.67s there. So yeah, waterfall action here on UNH, not looking too healthy with this kind of price action, trading a little bit lower. These are at prices that we haven't seen since yesterday. So yesterday's lows coming in at 324 halves. So I'm watching that as well. Potential for a little too far, too fast? I definitely think so. But again, catalyst driven, fresh news. It is downtrending pretty aggressively, and the president has spoken, and that is the reason why this is kind of starting to sell off as well. We know that UNH has already been in a bit of a downtrend overall. So yeah, I know Palantir, a whole other thing happening on Palantir right now, ripping through its high a day. But UNH, I'm watching very, very closely. Where will this selling stop? It seems like it is definitely not over, because these volume bars are increasing as we get lower and lower. So maybe we're making a beeline for a prior day's low, 324s, 324 halves here as of right now. So we'll see. Opening range lows are being tested right now on UNH, Neil. And Palantir, man, I know that one's going absolutely crazy, but we'll be right back from SIA with Sector Watch.
Let's do a quick look at the market right now. Electronic tech doing well today. Energy is pretty flat. Health tech doing decent. Finance is looking a bit flat too today. However, Just two things to mention. MasterCard, MA is doing decent despite having to pay $167 million in ATM user settle fee with Visa. And Oracle, ORCL, up 7% after its announcement with TikTok, as I mentioned earlier. However, CFO Clayton has proposed to sell restricted securities as of today. That was pretty recent. And overall, looking pretty good. That's all. Back to the guys.
Palantir really going, picking up a
going
lot
aggressively.
of steam. We have a lot of time till we get to the close. It's still about 40, just underneath 40 minutes till the imbalances. A few things have moved around a bit here. Pinterest was over 20 million. It's now 7 million to the buy side. Look at the paired volume on Pinterest. 28 million shares have already paired off. You've got HL, Helica is a 16 million early look sell. That's quite large. T15. BBAI is still a rather large buy, 11.8 million to the buy side. URG, that's like a $1 stock, who cares? Another Amex name there, ORLA. So there's still some pretty significant imbalances. Oracle, early look, 5.8 million. Just trying to find some significant ones for you there. BMNR, 3.5 million, but that's not that big of a deal. It's usually 1 or 2 every single day. So these are, if this is what we look like at 310 or 312 it is right now, I can imagine going into 350, this is going to be a little bit intense. So I would buckle up. Certainly whatever you're doing now, just remember, in about 30 minutes or so, things are going to start moving on those imbalances. So I reloaded TLRY again at the volume-weighted average price, and it's starting to fall off the volume-weighted average price again. It's been going to $11 and bouncing. The low of the day is actually exactly $11. So I'm going to reload it. Probably, if we can get one more shot reloading VWAP, then I'll do that, and then hold it into the low of the day. Oh, did you get that? But you took Palantir. Oh, by the way, just I'm going to show you.
I didn't
show a higher time frame on Palantir. Palantir, the lower high here is 195. So if you look at the charge to the all-time high, and the lower high is right here at $195. It is still a Friday. Wow. It would be a logical level that you might see a little bit of a weakness start to come into Palantir, but it's still about $1.50 away, for sure. Wow, that is super strong today, no questions asked. And I still can't believe, are we really even not catching a bid yet? Because I was looking over at, like, Humana is still at the low of the day, so it's still looking incredibly weak. And then UNH is even worse. Like, that's not catching a bid at all. So you're getting pretty close on UNH to getting to yesterday's low. Yeah, thank you, Dara, for popping in there, because it's down another $3. I would have thought there'd be some kind of a dip buy.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for that dip buy, but all I'm seeing is blood red tape. Just participants hitting below the bid more, a lot more than anywhere else here as of right now. Palantir as well. That's an aggressive buy. Very steady buying on Palantir happening. So I got eyes on that as of right now as well, because I'm just like, as soon as that buyer is done, I tried once already. I'm keeping it light, but you know, when that buyer is done, I definitely want to stay involved. But we're breaking out of multiple different levels here. High day break, technical breaks as well. VWAP held really well, and we talked about that 187.5. Neil brought it to you in the morning. That was a nice technical breakout as well. So I'm just saying we're getting a bit of continuation, all day consolidation here. We attempt to break through these lows through that 190. We talked about that, and then pushing right back up. A little bit of a consolidation, potentially a held offer here at 191. That seller lifts, and then we're off to the races here, blasting up towards that 195 here. So I'm just looking at my chart, looking to see where is that prior level, and I'm seeing here, yeah, 195 is 70s on the daily highs as of right now for Palantir, so maybe we're making a beeline for there, but UNH as well. I'm just waiting for this bid to potentially come back in. Is this it as of right now? I think so. I looked away for a couple of seconds, and that's stepping right back in. So maybe you can participate in and around here, but definitely got to risk risk all the way to the low. I think it's absolutely crazy here. So definitely got to size accordingly. But that bid stepping right back in here on UNH. This could consolidate. This could just go sideways. This could slam right back in through those lows. But I'm willing to participate a little bit here if we are getting a bit of a reversion here. Because yeah, a little too far too fast on the intraday. Yes, it's some news with the presidential talk. But you know, market's strong. Everything's pretty decently holding, and this was kind of thrown no wrench thrown into the works here in terms of this action. So let's see if this comes in and you know, gives us a bit of a reversion. All right, David with a super chat here. Let's see, what is he saying? He says, a president cannot just wave a magic sharpie like a wand and lower drug prices. There are contracts and it would shake them hard. Yeah, okay, understandable, yeah. But here's the thing, a lot of people in the market, they participate in a forward-looking manner. So you know what I mean? Everyone's trying to do it first. So a lot of times he can just speak and people will act. Participants will, you know, place their bets into the market, and so that's something we do have to watch out for and maybe participate in as well. It's an opportunity for day traders for sure, whichever way you're going. If you're getting with the trend or you're taking the reversion because you're just like, all right, now the selling's kind of done for now. Yeah, either way, definitely giving us that opportunity, and I think that's the best thing, man. That's what President Trump brings us. Opportunity in the market, especially for day traders. I think I was talking about that Oracle push that happened in the overnight session, I think. No, it wasn't the Oracle push. Sorry, he was giving an address a couple nights ago, and yeah, just market just started to move, and there was definitely a lot of opportunity both ways, long and short. So definitely, I would say the best president for the markets.
No questions asked. Did we do that to David Tretiak? We got a super chat?
Yeah, okay, I just read that.
Just making sure. Wanted to make sure that we got a chance to see it. Look, I'm a little disappointed that he couldn't push his own stock, man. Which obviously you're not supposed to.
Yeah, maybe you should. Yeah, exactly.
No, DJT's still on the back end. Unfortunately, like it's holding under VWAP. It's not really moving. But Humana, you already probably went over this. It looks like you're trying to catch a bid here on UNH.
Yeah,
Humana's doing a worse job of it though, and the volume's really tapering off. Humana's volume is really ridiculously low. That might be a nothing burger, but I got to watch out for VWAP potentially breaking back out here on TLRY because we've already reloaded once, and we have enough time for like one more reload at the volume weighted average price. But it didn't get, every time it's been going to the low, this time it didn't actually get to the low of the day. So just have to be a little bit cautious with that. Palantir is still making some power moves to the upside. I don't know if it's going to get to that 195 level. And then remember Tesla, the chances of getting a breakout to fill in the gap to 490, seemingly they're like it's getting lower and lower and lower. I don't know if we're going to get back above that 85 to do the breakout here on Tesla. It could hold VWAP, and maybe there's something here for a little bit of a VWAP hold and break. But that'll be more of a scalp trade going into the close. The expected imbalances, like the big one that the one that's going in to the S&P 500 is going to be Carvana. Oddly enough, it's at the low of the day. And you don't see it on here. Like it's not one of the big names on the locator. So Carvana, yeah, while we're expecting some possible big things here, the bigger names right now, BBAI, 12 million to the buy side and already 4 paired off. This one could just be a pretty clean, breakout trade if it actually comes out that large. The closer we get to 350, like I don't know if I want to be in it now with 20 minutes to go. Or 30 minutes to go to the imbalances, but the closer we get, BBAI could just be like a clean go for the break, play the quick momentum if it stays this large in imbalance. That's pretty significant. And it's been this large. BBAI, this showed up at 2 o'clock. It's been a few million shares on BBAI the entirety of this afternoon show. Like we brought you this, and this is one of the few names that was on there. Pinterest was on there as well. So I do expect there could be one. Dropped system, the thing is, we can sort and look for any name, but what I can tell you is anything that has an imbalance right now for the early look is going to be a New York or NYSE American name. We don't get an early look for the Nasdaq. So I can't tell you if Tesla has an imbalance right now because we don't see it till 350. On New York names, NYSE, and NYSE America, NYSE American, formerly the Amex, we do get an early look and we can say, hey, right now the imbalance on Pinterest is a buy. But when it comes to Tesla or Apple or NVIDIA, you just find out at 350. And if there was ever some kind of a source, it'd be the first time I was hearing it. We always ask people, Sean says it all the time, I say it all the time, if somebody has anywhere where there's some kind of an inside source as to early orders that are going into the imbalance, that'd be great. I can tell you mechanically, in theory, it exists.
I mean, you see it happen.
Well, people can put market on close orders in all throughout the day. That's what you're seeing here. People are putting market on close buy and sell orders into the New York Stock Exchange system. And so that's why you see the imbalance. In theory, that's happening on the Nasdaq. They just don't publish anything. There's nowhere you can find it, unfortunately. I do believe, I just heard we're going to go to Sia at the desk.
You heard right. We're going to quickly talk about the Bank of Japan hike hit the yen. The Bank of Japan raised its policy rate to 0.75%, highest in about 30 years. Has also stressed that the policy will remain accommodative and hinted at the scope for future gradual hikes. USD yen is pushing well above 156. Also, Bank of England's 25 BP cut to 3.75 came with a tight 5.4 vote in guidance that suggested limited room for further easing. Also, the GBP USD is higher. Euro GBP is slipping back, but pound is outperforming most majors right now. And post-CPI dollar toning the holiday conditions. U.S. inflation is currently, as we know it, running at 2.7%. The Euro USD is rallying towards 1.17, and that's all for today. Back to the guys.
Much. This UNH, a little bit of a reversion happening there. We slapped up into 327s. I was just like, all right, I'm going to take some. I mean, the risk was a little wild there, but again, it is what it is. And we kind of talk about this. Yeah, that's literally how the ask was looking, just getting slapped up right there. But yeah, no, we talk about sometimes, you know, even if you think it's a negative RR. Sometimes the expected value might be enough for you to take a little bit of a shot there as well. But we'll see if this can come into fruition here. I got $1 on it right now, but again, I'm looking for a little bit more of a reversion. That could not happen as well. I'm being nimble here. Same thing with Palantir, just another grind to the upside here. So shout out to anybody who got the breakouts here. If you were watching this 191, if you were watching this 191.5, or if you were watching this high a day. We just blasted through all of those, just consistent grinding bid happening here as of right now. And again, market tailwind also on our side as both the Nasdaq and the ES consolidate at their highs. What's up, Adara?
So to let you guys know, GSK announcing limited details of their agreement with the U.S. Of course, they were one of the pharma companies today striking a deal with the U.S. Apparently, they're going to be able to treat more than 40 million patients in the U.S. that suffer from respiratory conditions such as asthma and COPD. This is kind of the same as the announcement they made in front of the Trump administration, but just be aware, again, the terms are kind of circulating here. Apparently, there will be other products, including those from their inhaled respiratory portfolio, available to U.S. patients on direct purchasing platform with savings up to 66%, but they can't provide total details. Those are still going to be confidential, but apparently they're going to be also supporting the resilience of the U.S. supply chain for critical medicines by securing for the U.S. a reserve of albuterol. So again, albuterol reserve mostly focused here on their inhaled respiratory products, but either way, GSK providing limited details to their U.S. deals. We send you back to Obi and Neil.
Thank you very much, Adara. I did jump into that little trend break bounce off VWAP on Tesla here. It pressed back through 482. To be able to break the trend. It looks like it's already stalling at 483, but 484 is going to be resistance anyway. So either we lose prior bar low or we break out 83 and get to 84 to take another piece out. But I was just telling Obi that I hit the wrong slap button, and he's like, what? So I think we can all see.
That's the new one?
No, that's the old one.
Okay.
You can see what's wrong with that one, right?
What's wrong with that one?
You can't see what's wrong with that?
Does your shirt change?
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Not only does my shirt change, I mean, my skin tone changes. Like, it's very blatantly two different pictures. I meant to hit the good one. This is the good one.
Okay, yes, that's the one I'm familiar with.
That's the one.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
I was on the wrong page. I should have gotten rid of that one by now. But it's like, Sean's is even worse, by the way. Do you have Sean's page? Oh,
no, I don't. I have.
Sean's is arguably worse because they're both kind of nonsense. It's like you think you would just use the same picture in the animation. My brother's an animator. He said, by the way, nobody that's with the team worked on that one, just so you know, like years ago. My brother saw that. He's like, "What is going on?" And then now it's like it's just too funny to get rid of.
Fair enough.
I use it. It's kind of like this book.
Yeah, no,
Like that.
Fabian coming in with some good ideas. He's saying that he should definitely make some animations for you for the show. Why not?
My brother has a lot. I mean, my brother
I'm sure he has a lot on his plate.
He has a job. He teaches animation.
Okay, nice.
Man teaches salsa dancing. He does rock climbing. Been too busy.
I did.
I probably would be, but no.
I did bachata in uni, but wasn't too great at it.
I don't even know what that is.
They told me I was way too stiff.
Is that a dance? What kind of like?
It's kind of like salsa, a little bit more intimate, but.
Just because my brother does salsa dancing, just don't make the assumption that I have any clue what I have no idea. He had some class, like I remember I was out in Halifax, and he had this like, it was like a graduation or something event for the people that they teach. So I went to this thing, and I was like, oh, you're Len's brother? And so obviously to them it meant that I should know what the heck I'm doing on the dance floor. So like, yeah, you're Len's brother.
Like, yeah, come on.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what are you crazy? Like, whatever. Like, I'll just have some fun, but don't expect this not to look ridiculous. You can just make the assumption. Like,
that's fair.
Come on now.
Dan's saying Neil's a two-step guy. Yeah, that's definitely.
I keep it nice.
hit the two-step.
Yeah. Walk here and there.
Okay, all right. Whoa.
That's not. Trust me, that doesn't play.
Why?
If it's
depends on what you got to be in the right part of town.
Doesn't play there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you doing? And they're serious. At my brother's wedding, at one point, you can't make this up. Like they played a salsa song, just regular dancing, everyone's doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, like some salsa dancing song came on, and then like these little pockets of just insanity started happening at the wedding, and everybody that wasn't a salsa dancer just started looking around like,
what's
I
happening?
need to not be on the dance floor right now because clearly this is like out of a
Feel a
movie.
little left out. Yeah.
No, you just felt like I do not belong on this floor right now because like this just turned into a scene out of a movie, and I have no idea what the steps are. So pretty cool. He's a really great dude, by the way. And no, West, y'all, we do not have a weasel animation for Sharif yet, which would be a pretty cool one. Would you like Pop Goes the Weasel or Weasel In, because he always likes to weasel in. Fabian's right next to me, so I'm literally talking to him about that potential animation.
There he is.
He's right there.
There you go.
Fabian's constantly trying to make my mic not suck. And I appreciate we get it. I know I have mic issues sometimes.
What if it's something with that? There's that huge column. Right here. It's that huge column of cement right there. I think, yeah, that might be playing a little bit of a factor. Yes.
Machiavelli says we need a squats animation for Sharif. That'd be cool.
I think Adara's got something to say.
Adara?
I'm just weaseling in to comment on how Fabian was casually weaseling in while talking about making an animation for wait for it. Weaseling in. So now I'm going to weasel out with that in mind.
Hey, all right. It's like a good triple level pun there.
Triple OG.
What the hell is even that?
Yes, exactly.
No, I want the other guy. I want the bowling guy. Who do you think you are? I am.
Oh yeah, that guy's an epic, man. Absolutely epic.
I don't have that. Like I have this button, but I don't have that.
So when you go bowling, you got to yell that out when you hit strikes.
We go with.
What? Strikes? Do I look like I hit strikes when I bowl?
Non-zero chance.
You're right. That's exactly correct.
I had a strike every now and then. Come on.
Definitely not. It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Palantir is just going, man.
Palantir is going. But it's not at 95 yet.
Not 95. It's knocking on the door of 94. It's holding 94 flats on the highs right now, only about 4 to 5 pennies away. 95 is a level. 95 is 70s, I think, is also a level last I checked. But yeah, I got to continue watching that one. UNH just holding this 328 as of right now. So I guess the bid is dropping a little bit there. So maybe that's all she wrote for a bit of the reversion. I think ideally I wanted to be involved here. 327s, but catching 328s, not the best price. But we'll see if this kind of pans out here. Market also continuing to hold near the highs of its range. So the question becomes, who is responsible for this? I got a little bit of Amazon. Amazon's trending to the highs here. Let me pull up the chart at the same time so we can take a look at it together. There goes UNH dropping back down into 328. So you know what? I'm gonna pack my patience with this one. 194 breaking out there on Palantir. So I'm gonna be a little bit more patient. Maybe 195s is the answer for that one there. What was I forgot the stock that I was gonna look up here. Amazon, right? We're gonna look at who are the culprits holding this holding this market up near its highs here. So definitely a little bit of Amazon here. Google, maybe, yeah. It has a retrace. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's go to a 15-minute so we can see a little bit better. It has retraced to VWAP, but holding relatively well with reference to what it did in terms of the morning session here. Tesla, not really. NVDA is the one that's really kind of trading at its highs, held VWAP extremely well. 181 highs at the same time on this one. I'm not necessarily looking at Meta, but let's take a look at Meta. Okay, Meta, similar story to that of Google there, but Softy is the one that is looking distinctly different as of right now, MSFT. You know what, muscle memory, now whenever I'm typing in MS, I automatically go TR, MSTR, instead of MSFT. Yeah, it's just, I guess I've been trading it a little bit more. Ramin saying, I thought you were going to go MSOS. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I don't trade those the MSOS as often as I should. Again, those trades don't necessarily show up as often as some of these large caps, in my opinion. But you know, everybody likes to trade different things. But MSTR definitely has been
for you than
MSFT for sure. But there was a time where whenever I would type muscle memory, would just go MSFT as well. So you know that changes over time.
I'm willing to make you a bet.
Yes.
And we're going to eyeball this. We're going to eyeball this one. Everyone in the chat right now, if you because I think if I ask everybody here, you have to put 10 grand into either MicroStrategy or Strategy, MSTR, or Microsoft. And if it's Microsoft type 1, and if it's MSTR type 2, and nobody is going to put 2. Everybody's going to drop 1, 10K into Microsoft 1, or MSTR 2, and OBA, nobody going to put no 2s in here. Because it's, I mean, almost nobody is going to put any 2s in here, and you can't type 3. There is no 3 option. You're supposed to pick
3
one.
apparently is a mask. Someone just...
Yes, oh, 3 is. Oh, well, fine. You know what?
Let's go to a higher time frame.
Mask is a better stock than
a higher time frame.
MSTR. No, it probably isn't. 1.5 is also not an option. I will buy mask here. $ mask. I get it. Mask. It was fun this morning. It's crazy, like how much legs that actually had. It was overwhelmingly 1. I can eyeball it. I would say, and I'm just going to say, 1 in 10 people might have taken.
Yeah, everyone's going to pick Softy. I mean, it's a Mag 7. You do well over time just buying market leaders, right?
Or just buy Bitcoin. If you like.
Or just buy Bitcoin, maybe not leveraged like crazy at the highs. Maybe that's one way to do it.
Probably not that. But, I think that could be problematic as well.
Could be problematic, but because you know you will be part of the reason why we unwind as hard as we do.
And I'm still
if you're leveraged like crazy on some of those things. Like some of those brokers provide 100x, 500x lev. That's absolutely wild. Come on, man. You're getting liquidated like this if it goes against you.
Clearly, what we need in the crypto space is more.
I mean, it definitely gets the gamblers going.
That is exactly what we need.
It definitely gets the gamblers going, but in terms of traders, I don't think a lot of the...
Into the dice game, clackety, clackety, clack. Yeah, okay, you'd be better off. It's better off.
195 is coming in.
Some of that leverage. Palantir 95s are starting to come in. I just want Tesla to get back to this 84, but Palantir going ham. Machiavelli just dropped a super chat. I think we know where you stand on this.
I mean, what's new, man?
Well, okay, so
what's new?
It's a Ponzi scheme.
People call BTC the Ponzi. It is the Ponzi. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's just like you got to get long the Ponzi when it's.
There is a difference between the greater fool theory and a Ponzi scheme, right? I mean, there is a fundamental difference. Like, so yeah, it's there, but everything is greater fool theory. It's just a matter of how foolish it is. But a Ponzi scheme does require, it's like money comes in is physically paying other people out. Like there is a little bit of a difference there, but I would say MSTR is probably closer to it than just talking about something that doesn't have any intrinsic value that goes up. But then it'd be, you get really deep into that. But I see what you're saying. I'm not an MSTR guy, and I'm always willing to be.
I just mean for day trading. I've been day trading it a lot more.
I can be convinced. You can, a compelling argument.
I mean,
I'm always willing to be educated as to why
yes, of course.
maybe I see it wrong. And the other thing you have to contend with constantly when it comes to MSTR is that knowing that there is a very popular short MSTR long Bitcoin play that goes on. Like it's a pretty
of course,
big,
people have been trading
pretty
that,
big hedge. And sometimes that's going to weigh on the stock, but it is what it is. It's the same thing with BM&R as well, but it is a good trade. I'm not going to dog anybody that day trades or swing trades MSTR or BM&R.
Dude, it's been a great vehicle
because
recently.
it's been a fantastic. Okay, well maybe not today. It's a little choppy today, but
I can see some things in
there's
there.
some things that are happening.
Depends on how, if you're scalping, if you're taking level to level moves. Depends on your skill set, your playbook. But yeah, definitely there's a lot of opportunity on MSTR over the past few weeks. I mean, I'm looking at the monthly right here, and wow, what a beautiful, beautiful reversion this has been. Let's take VWAP out of the way there. No, thank you. I do not want to do that right now. Okay, so right there, look at that, 358s. We talk about the 400 failure to follow through. We talk about structure breaks of 237s there, and then through 200. This week we tested 200, can't really get through 200 as well. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity. Let's take, sorry, this month, not this week, but yeah, on the 15-minute chart, let's just take a look at what potential things can be happening, right? Look at this, strong sell-off right here. So you're just like, all right, sellers are maybe potentially in charge. Guess what? I'm taking this reversion, I'm taking that reversion, and guess what? Maybe I'm taking this area as well because it gets pushed up in the pre-market and then sellers step right back in. So it's just more of the same, more of the same, more of the same with a lower highs. So like, I think there's definitely opportunity there. Sure, today's a little bit choppy, but for the past few days, it's been pretty clean after kind of sellers showed themselves through this low right here, 170, 170s. That's support turning into resistance. Let's keep it simple. We don't need to complicate things here, but supply and demand is what I like to go off of, and especially that's the language of the charts here, and MSTR definitely speaking that language over the past couple of weeks here. But you know, Bitcoin also pulling back. Sellers are aggressive on MSTR. Makes sense. Why? Because of the business that they're in. As a day trader, I definitely want to take opportunity for what it's worth.
And that's all you do. Like as a trader, it doesn't really make a difference. And oh, Tony just said they closed the short. This is what I like to see. Tony in the chat just mentioned you have a short on Vana that you closed. Well, it's at the low of the day, and the expectation is because it's going into the S&P that you might see a buy imbalance. So why not? 10 or 11 minutes till the imbalances come out. Not a big change, and I still don't actually see them on there. You still see HL, Helica Mining Company, 20 million to the sell side. BBI and Pinterest, kind of weird. They're literally exactly the same number. 11.37 million to the buy, both of them. Pfizer in there, Chipotle, 6 million to the buy side. Some of the same names. CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines, on their earnings report this morning, absolutely blasted. That's also going to be an imbalance of 5 million imbalance over there on Carnival. 10% today, huge breakout for Carnival. It was a bit mixed. They actually beat on EPS. Their guidance was strong, but they actually, I think they missed on the sales versus expectations, but it was mostly good. And whatever was said during the call, obviously the market has liked it quite some bit. I mean, Tesla's just staying range bound here. But there hasn't been a breakout above 83 yet, so it's still very, very tight range. If it doesn't do something in the next 10 minutes, like I don't want to be, I never want to be in one of these things when the imbalances hit. It's like either it's broken the consolidation and you're in them and you're deeper in the money, or you're just out. And it's a similar thing I'm thinking with TLRY in here, because TLRY heading right back into the lows. I didn't get the reload. We're just going to cancel that. Let me double check the daily chart on. Oh, that's right, TLRY split. Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, TLRY had the reverse. I completely forgot that TLRY. Like that's why it's so ridiculous. Man, this has a lot of room. This, you know what? Even if there's a local bottom here at like 10:30, this one could have legs on it for days. But I'm bidding $11, and even if it were to break that, you have some support down here. I feel like these guys might be shorts next week as well. And when I say these guys, I'm talking about the cannabis names, and particularly TLRY, because even if you lost that shelf, like it's still a ways away from the split price. Like it's split and was at $7, and we're still a good 40 to 50% higher than that here on TLRY. I might still like this one next week. South side, that is. I don't want them long. After the disappointment yesterday, MSOS and kind of the rally in cannabis and the rug pull, it's a short till it's not. That's the way I like to look at it. I will default thinking short until something tells me otherwise.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of just setting up here. We only have about 10 minutes until the close, so I got my imbalance locators up. The markets, I'm watching the markets as well, consolidating near the highs, so very, very strong. There's some pretty big names on the imbalance to be expected. Let's see if it actually pans out that way. We already have some names populating these lists here, but I'm just going to wait till that 50 drop to really kind of start to look to get involved with things. Palantir here as well, continuation to the highs there, so it seems like we are getting up into that 195 area as of right now on Palantir at the same time. So yeah, very aggressive, very strong push. Maybe a front run into imbalances as well.
Possibly.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, PDD, we were looking at that this morning. That's my alarm for imbalances. Here we go, just on time. All right, so PDD, yeah, bit of a gap up and just faded pretty much almost, I guess, about 50% of the gap here from prior day right there. So a nice strong selling all day long on PDD happening here. What else were we looking at? Again, let's take a look at some of the Mag 7, some of the chip names that have been moving around. I want to look at Micron. I want to look at AVGO. I want to keep an eye on Oracle as well. So NVIDIA near its highs, looking very similar to the market. Oracle been trading this one a little bit, holding structure above that 191. Pretty decent consolidation above this. Little, strong sell. Strong buy, nice little U-shape reversion over a couple of days happening here on Oracle there. So definitely going to have eyes on that one. Think AVGO somewhere on the list as well. And okay, that's coming in right now, Neil. So some strong selling stepping in off of 338. So going to be patient for that one to come in. I did try to get involved a little bit earlier, maybe too early there. And okay, all right. So I don't know if we're going to do this roll call just now. But so 338's coming down into consolidation lows. Definitely have that one on watch, and some of the Mag 7s as well at the same time. But yeah, let me know in the chat, what are you guys looking at for on the close for an options expiry day? We'll be right back from SIA.
Oh, a lot of Palantir.
Hey guys, let's do a quick crypto update. BNB is up 3%. As of yesterday, BNB integrated used stablecoin. Another thing of note is that Amazon Web Service bills can now be paid using BNB via the BPN network instead of just using card networks or banks. ETH is also up 5%. Since Monday, as we all know it, ETH has been struggling to regain the traction below $3,000 level. An interesting update is that just a few weeks after the Fusaka update, ETH developers have announced the next update, which will be called Higoda, basically meaning Bogota and Haze, which are two of Ethereum's layers. Currently, ETH is around 2,950. BTC is up 3% after a freshly released BTC on-chain data. Nearly 50% of BTC's realized cap is now attributed to new whales, highlighting a structural reset of the network's cost base. The STH supply has expanded by roughly 100,000 BTC over the past 30 days. And that's all for crypto. Back to the guys.
Thank you, Adair. Well, we just had a little bit of acceleration to the downside. I tightened up my stop here on Tesla with only 5 minutes to go to the imbalances. It didn't really break. It broke VWAP only for a brief little second. If we can come to my chart just quickly, just want to show you guys. Scalped it a couple times. It couldn't follow through 483 off that 42 level, but I'm going to jump out of it. I'm like a couple of pennies away on the bid of TLRY with 5 minutes to go to the imbalances. I'm going to let this one just sort of get down into the low of the day, take it out. It's been holding 11 the entirety of the day, right? It has bounced multiple times off that price, so might as well just take it when we can get it. Let's go to Adair at the desk one more time before.
Yeah, just be aware here, guys. Kevin Hassett is making very comments apropos to Kevin Hassett right now on, I believe, Fox Business. He's basically saying here that CPI data a little bit less reliable due to shutdown, but that, as you might expect him to say, the Fed has plenty of room to cut. I do want to let you guys know as well, I have a new infographic here on X that TTV Research posted earlier today. It's a rundown of the top 4 contenders for the Fed chair position. That would be Christopher Waller, Kevin Hassett, both of whom are on this screen. There's also another infographic, again, it is on X, that is tied to this one, and that covers the other 2 Fed chair contenders. That would be Kevin Warsh, the other of what Trump is calling the Kevins, and then, of course, Rick Reeder of BlackRock. You can get these details on X at TTV Research. You might be wondering, what happened to Fed's Bowman? Apparently, she's out, according to a CNBC report today, so only these 4 remain. Back to you.
Bye-bye, Michelle. And yes, I did accidentally call Thea Adara. I've said thank you, Adara, probably, I don't know,
Yeah, we all
500
noticed.
times.
Many years.
How many times over the years?
Over the years, yes.
A lot. But you know what? As far as I'm concerned, that is an incredibly gigantic compliment. There's been doing this a very long time. And immediately, Thea is so seamless that in my head, it's like, oh, that was perfect. Thank you, Dara, as usual. But fantastic team we have going on. And I only just noticed this because I'm old and I don't notice things fast enough. But matching green on a green day. So I don't know. Maybe we have something going here. By the way, the last Thea, just so you know, there was at least for half a year to a year, if Adara wore green, the market would go down. And it was true, and it was just consistent. So she had to pick her spots, and people wouldn't like when it goes down. But the market is up when you've worn green. So you have some power. Make sure you wield it responsibly.
It used to be the opposite also. There was a time where when I remember the first time we did this, Obi was getting really freaked because I was wearing green and the market had like one of its best days ever. And that was the day after I wore red. And we had one of the worst days in a while. So it used to work. Then Trump came into office. And quite literally, that is when the effect stopped working, is when Trump came into office. But yeah, interesting stuff.
More powerful player in town at that point that could move markets. So, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah. Trump definitely trumped the indicator. We'll say that.
What's low-key, what's actually undefeated today is you guys managing to get that stupid stock on the middle of that screen for the entirety of the day. I cannot believe you guys did this. It's actually very impressive. It's over 200 votes for the most nonsensical, useless, didn't move, probably it hasn't even done 1 million shares. It is a 23-cent stock that hasn't done 1 million shares. It doesn't have a story, has no business being up there, and you're still typing $mask, so more power to all of you. Look at the level, first of all, where does the level 2 look like on this stupid thing? There's not even any liquidity. Like, you couldn't even punch in for fun on this, whatever that, I don't even know what they do. It doesn't really matter what they do. And there you go, Hassett. Everything Trump says about inflation is correct. Well, I, for one, am shocked that Hassett agrees with the president, obviously. We've got 90 seconds to go till the imbalances come in. Do remember, it's not just the fact that it's witching today. It was triple witching today, but the bigger event now that we're at the close, and why I'm flat and don't have any orders out there, is it is index rebalancing. The S&P is doing rebalancing of all their major indexes. You will have all of that year-end. It's not just a quarterly rebalancing. This is a year-end rebalancing. See, Carvana is going into the index. Right now, you've got BBAI is a large buy of 11 million shares. Helica is still a sell of 17. It looks to me like Chipotle. Chipotle was up here, must have paired off, so I don't really see it anymore. CRH is there, 7.6. What else do we have that is big? BMNR, 3.3 million. That's not that big for BMNR. And everything that I'm showing you, oh no, my chat crashed. Everything that I'm showing you is a New York stock. In about 30 seconds, you will also see the Nasdaq stocks start to populate as well. That's kind of hilarious. YouTube literally crashed. I'll just reload, so I actually have the chat up for you guys. So about 20 seconds to go till the imbalances come in. I'm going to get myself back in the chat.
Right, so yeah, no, I'm definitely watching some of these names here, waiting for these imbalance locators to populate. With only about a few seconds left here. We got about 8 seconds left.
It's going to be big numbers.
So good luck, everyone. Manage your risk, and may the force be with you.
Always may the force be with you. Warner Brothers is 32 million to the sell side. Intel, 18 million sell. Whoa. Beyond Meat, 12 million to buy. You still have BBAI, about 9 million. Broadcom, is that right? 7.5 million to buy on Broadcom. Wow. AVG, that's a $340 stock with $7.5 million to the buy side. Webull, $6 million to the buy side. Plug 5.8 million, and a whole lot of other stuff in the millions. I can't read everything. NVIDIA, I want to find some big names for you. Walmart, 4 million to the sell side, and I did see NVIDIA there, 3.6 million buy on NVIDIA. But if there's something bigger notionally than Broadcom, I'm welcome to anyone's interpretation. Look at Broadcom. Broadcom went absolutely ham. And then, of course, remember Warner Brothers, WBD, 26 million sell. So,
Yep,
yeah,
that's the
remember
one
they
I'm
were
looking
like,
at.
there's not much upside left in the stock. Somebody is dumping this one going into today's close. So window dressing in the wrong way, already paired off half. So 26 million to sell on Warner Brothers and 25 million paired off already. Intel, that is a pretty big sell on Intel as well. So massive imbalances here for sure. Probably a bunch of others I didn't get to, like individually. If you throw them in the chat, it'll be difficult to catch every single one. I can't tell you what every imbalance is here. But if you have one in there, you can always let me know. Intel with a big move on that imbalance. It's like, yeah, you could, if you're looking for Carvana, I didn't even see Carvana on there. So I was looking for Vana, and Vana wasn't even anything, unfortunately. So there's Intel, huge, huge move. Now remember, in 3 minutes at about 3:55, I'm not saying every one of these is going to pair off or disappear. But in about 3 minutes, a lot of them are going to get significantly smaller or flip or disappear. What might happen is you might have one of these big imbalances grow. If it grows at 55, I think that's a good opportunity to play into it. But Intel big, Walgreens, sorry, I keep wanting to say Walgreens, sorry, my bad. Warner Brothers discovering 28 million on the sell side for reasons that make no sense. Beyond Meat is a buy of 7 million shares. Probably not moving it that much. And Webull, I think Webull's a pretty significant one as well. 6 million to buy on Webull. But you know what, Webull not really moving. Already starting to pull back here. Webull couldn't even break out yesterday's high on that imbalance. That's 6 million into a 10 million volume, and it's not really going. So I'll call Webull. That's a bit of a fail to affect the stock.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly, I'm just watching Warner Brothers here.
Warner Brothers.
It is pretty huge, and again, a buyout candidate there as well, potentially from Netflix or what is it, Paramount? Is that the
Skydance?
Yeah.
Skydance.
So yeah, Intel as well. Take a look at Intel. I'm watching CRH as well. CRH, kind of funny, selling off on a buy imbalance. That's interesting. Here on CRH on the NYSE. We've got some BBAI here as well. But this is what the imbalance locator looks like for me right here. So we got WBD, Intel, grab, BYND, plug is in there. NVIDIA is a buy. But I looked at NVIDIA just a moment ago. I don't think there's any significant moves happening there anywhere on the Mag 7. But yeah, NVIDIA kind of holding up near its highs there as well. Got to keep an eye on the market at the same time. But WBD looking pretty nice here. Let's see if it sticks. I want to see that that imbalance stick. Like Neil said, things could pair off pretty aggressively, and that buy or sell imbalance, whatever you're looking at, just get paired, and price action could just wipe right back and balance itself out as well. So that's something you got to be careful of. But we're coming into 353 as of right now. Man, some of these moves, you got to be fast. You got to be real fast to catch some of these moves on those imbalances. And again, I feel like you know, I just got to work on having much faster methods of execution. So you know, it's a work in progress.
Well, I mean, I'll be real with you. Like if you're looking at Intel, you might capture some of that. But if you're looking at Carvana and a couple of other things, I was looking at Carvana and a couple of other stocks, expecting to see imbalances there. You don't. So you know, capturing
look
that
at
is going to be
AVGO
different.
right
We have about 30 seconds until some of these are probably going to pair off. But if you want opportunities to trade, sometimes it's a heck of a lot easier to do it when you're not risking your own money. You don't want that fear of losing, and you want enough capital to make it matter. Trade the Pool's transforming how traders access the markets. The limited risk trading model allows you to use funded capital while Trade the Pool is going to absorb the downside. You hit the profit target, you keep 70%, you get a real opportunity, no barriers or fear. It's the revolution of limited risk trading, and it is powered by Trade the Pool. Scan the QR code you see out in front of you,
Apple?
or visit tradethepool.com for more information. I can tell you WBD right now just paired off half of that imbalance in one shot.
Whoa.
It went from 26 million to 12 million. BBAI stays at 9 million. But remember, BBAI is not moving that much because it came out It was expected 11 million before the imbalances came out, and it came out at 9 million. So it ended up smaller than what we were seeing the entire afternoon. I still see Under Armour as a buy of 6 million, but a lot of those have paired off. Intel is paired way off as well. That's down to 4.6 million shares on Intel. NVIDIA staying at about 3 million shares. That's decent, not gigantic, but yeah, a lot of big pairs happening. That's still pretty decent on Warner Brothers. That sell imbalance, though, still about 11 million altogether. And I see people asking me, like, where is IBIT in terms of an imbalance? I don't know if I've ever seen an imbalance on IBIT. I'm just going to be real. The only crypto-related name I've seen an imbalance on, I would say, is BMNR. Sometimes that will have an imbalance, but it's certainly not IBIT, which I don't think is uncommon. Like, think about it. Like, it's not even the primary place in which you would engage trading in Bitcoin. So why would people need the liquidity there?
Yeah, definitely. Just eyes on this WBD. It is chopping around here. We did pair off about half of the size there, so that was about around 2026, right? We're at 11 million, and we had a spike on Apple right now as well. Apple ripping to the upside on that buy imbalance, 2.76 now, 2.76 million shares to buy on Apple here, just ripping right back up through its highs. You can see the market, though, kind of getting slammed in. AVGO was on watch as well. That's getting slapped around as well. That's doing a little bit of a shimmy dance there in between. What is that, 334 to 340? Gotta be careful of that one. That's about a $6 wipe both ways, three ways. It ran up, ran back down, and now running right back up here on the day. So WBD, I'm going to be watching this one into the close. That was a lot of stuff, man. I just, I can't figure out which one to take.
You know what got
I am
smoked?
kind of which one.
Carvana is actually a sell. So Carvana,
Nice.
which is going into the S&P, is a 700,000 sell imbalance. And this is what happens. If you just gambled that it was going to come out a buy, you got smoked. If you waited to see if it came out a buy and then traded it, then you're fine because you just didn't take a trade in Carvana. And now it's down 3%. So this is the typical par for the course. We've seen it a million times. You run up going into the event. This is the case. The event is that they're going into the S&P 500, effective now. So, I mean, tonight, obviously. So on Monday morning, they'll be part of the S&P. But they sell the news. So it is what it is. The sell the news happened here. We already got a lower high. And we'll see where it catches a bit of a bid. We saw it with Uber. Uber was able to eventually catch a bid, but it was a sell the event as well. So yeah, a lot of names obviously at the close, or frog in my throat there. A lot of names obviously at the close just moved. I saw someone saying Meta tank. I didn't even see an imbalance on Meta. Probably a sell. The thing about it is, and what you can do, if you're at real trading, you can always create like another list with just a single name in it, or like one or two. Like I have one in where I was just looking at Carvana just to see where it came out as, because that's the one I was watching. But if you were just interested in, say, like Meta, Palantir, Apple, or just, you could make a list of those 3 or 4 and not have the entire market. For the purpose of showing you guys the imbalances, we'll show you everything. But if I have a stock that I'm watching, I will put a list up that has just that stock so I don't miss where that imbalance came out as, because every single symbol is going to be in here. It's almost impossible to try to keep track of all of them. So about 1 minute to go. It's been a great week of trading, I'll tell you that much. Between the IPO we had, obviously a lot of volatility this week. It was sort of a really good week for day traders, and it's not atypical. Like next week will be a holiday shortened week, obviously. That doesn't mean that you sit it out. Sometimes those types of days, they might have low volume, but are just as good as others. You might not be able to find as many trades, but the ones that do work have a little bit less in the way. There's less predatory algos. You're not going to have, you basically, on a lot of the desks, you'll have like the B team on the institutions. So you're going up against not necessarily the most seasoned traders at the institutions because they take that time off. So it is a good time to trade. You just have to be a little bit more, not discretionary, but a little bit more patient. Probably take a few less setups, and then don't fight anything. That's for sure. So 20 seconds, everybody.
Yep.
It looks like Warner Brothers is pairing off. It's still about 4 million shares, but the final bell here for the week before we have the Christmas week is right here, right now. Crazy, crazy action, but we'll ring it in 3, 2, and 1. And now the market is closed. I want to give a big...
What's the print?
Yeah, are you looking at CVNA?
Oh, just WBD.
Yeah, I'm looking. Carvana is going to actually close almost at 450. So it dropped about $14 at the close when it didn't come out a buy. Crazy, crazy action. And I am a big deal, if you didn't catch that, why is Carvana tanking? Because a lot of times people will just assume you're going to the S&P 500, effective at the close, it's going to be a buy imbalance. They assume it'll be a buy imbalance, a bunch of people buy the stock, they're long it all day, or they're long looking for that crazy candle, it comes out of sell, and they get rinsed. That's why you don't see us. Like I was on Carvana and looking at that imbalance and ready to punch long. That was keep the most simple one. It came out of sell, so I didn't take a trade, so I don't lose. But it's better to do that. I find you can make a lot of money on these, but if the one you like doesn't set up, don't take it because you can get destroyed like people might have on Carvana. Thank you for filling in, Obi, all day. For Sean will be back on Monday. We saw him in the chat. What up? And you guys know the Santa Claus rally hasn't started yet. It doesn't start till next week. It'll start on, technically it starts on Boxing Day and runs to it'll be the first 3 trading days of next year. So we do have to wait for that, but we got an early start. Nasdaq up 1.2%. Big shout out and big thank you, of course, to the midday boys, Sharif and Joe, crushing it like they always do. Shout out to Ramin. Thank you for the candy as always, Ramin. Thank you to Fabian, of course. And a big thank you. Oh, she left. Big thank you, of course, to Adara and Sia on the desk, and of course, Brendo as well. Shout out to Steve Talman and Michael Noss, our guests this morning. Hey, rest up this weekend. We had Jeff Mendel on in the afternoon. Yeah, shout out to Jeff Mendel. Thank you, Joe. We had Jeff on, and usually we get to talk to him, but we didn't today. The Midday Boys got to talk to Jeff, so thank you to Jeff. But rest up this weekend. Get all of your Christmas shopping done so you're not stressed out and you can focus on the markets. We'll be back at 8 a.m. like we do now, Monday morning, for Trader TV Live. That's Obi. I'm Neil. Have a great weekend.
Good weekend, guys.
And, well, we'll see you on Monday. And hopefully Carvana's done tanking.
Take it easy.